Limp Bizkit make music that you want to have a fight to, and I'd like to make music that you eat ice cream and cry to.
And I love the statement you're making with the shirt here.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, we were given a whole load of t-shirts yesterday, and this one kind of stood out because it reflects my personality, you know?
You don't say that much right now. All right, Nikki, here you go.
I saw the picture yesterday of the, oh my God, the Pimpin' Ain't Easy with the fat cat on there. That was a great shirt.
Yeah, I hope so.
I got given a load of fat cat shirts, and the Notorious CAT was my favourite, I'd say.
I have a question, also, what do the kids do? What's the coolest and weirdest thing a fan's ever given you? And that's from Morgan.
There's a fan knitted me a blanket, a really huge blanket that I've actually got on my sofa back at home. It's like the one thing that made it across the pond that hasn't stayed at the house over here. I kind of took it back because it was something you could just like wrap up in. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
You mentioned earlier about the eating ice cream. I'm like, that's PMS music. That's great.
Well, I don't know. Do you like?
Oh, he PMS is worse than any girl.
I have no idea what she's talking about. So,
Tampons.
Okay. Jessica wants to know who, I'm guessing musically, or it could be anyone, who is your idol? You had to say you look up to someone the most. Who's that person in your life?
It's always a bit cheesy, but I'd say my dad. My dad's a good. He's a good role model to have. I mean, like he hasn't played a musical note in his life, and you know, not from that standpoint, but from a like, you know, he's been married to my mum 30 years now. He's got 2 kids that have done all right, and yeah, so yeah, it's a good. He's a good role model to have.
My daughter is also in the audience. I'd like to ask her the same question. I'm totally kidding.
I had the gift of actually catching her and seeing the eye roll. Thank you. On that note, in a way, though, with performances, what was it like meeting and performing with Elton John? Michael had that question.
Yeah, it was cool. It's always random. I woke up to an email from him this morning actually, and like just like stuff like that is always still quite random because I still listen to him as a fan, and then like I wake up to an email and I'm like, cool.
So when you found out that at the Grammys you were going to be performing together, I would not sleep for. I mean, how did you find out, and what went through your mind? And you're a performer, so maybe you say, it's just another performance, or is your heart going brrr?
Well, we were waiting to find out if we had a performance, and I got a call from Elton just to basically say, you haven't got a performance. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was a bit like, oh. And then he was like, but I mean, you could play with me, and then that would like ensure that like you can play. And I was like, oh, well that sounds better.
Please, awesome. All right, here's one from the